Hello, and welcome once again to Meatballcraft Dimensional Ascension, level 100 Hunter Edition. We have a lot of stuff on the docket for today, and I don't know if we'll be able to get to all of it. We probably won't be able to, but I'm going to try and hit the major points. So, as I've said before, I record these in advance, but we have slowly been catching up. You've slowly been catching up to me over time. As these episodes take more and more time to produce because I have to do more and more things behind the scenes while editing them, which is not real editing. It's just me going over them and making some commentary on what I want to talk about. But quite a bit of time has passed between the last episode and this one. From my perspective, it has. So we have a fair bit to go over. The main objective today is we're going to the Dimension Doors dimension because we have to. We need dimensional thread for a variety of things, both in the immediate term and in the future. Two-dimensional thread is the only thing standing between us and and going to the Deep Dark. We might be able to go to the Deep Dark this dimension, or this episode. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Additionally, there we go. Let it calm down for a minute there. Additionally, we need things from the Deep Dark now. So of course we kind of have to go there. Let's put some of this Thaumcraft stuff away. I think I was making Thaumcraft plates, was I not? Molten thaumium. I needed it for something in the research table. Yes, we were doing that. So, let me go ahead and clear that. Where was that? What was I looking at that needed a plate to get? Was it the Thaumium Caster's Gauntlet? It was. There we go. I've successfully created the new casting gauntlet, which I am uncreatively calling the Thaumium Caster's Gauntlet. The introduction of the Thaumium allows the caster to be more about 10% more efficient. That's a bit oddly used grammar. With the usage of this, in addition to slightly reducing the cooldown between casts, it seems that the enchanted fabric takes very well to dyes. I only need to combine the gauntlet with one or more dyes on a mundane crafting table to get a new color. To remove the dye, I need to use the gauntlet on a filled mundane cauldron. Interesting. So we don't use the old caster's gauntlet. We make a brand new one. Okay. And actually, I have something I'd like to check, which is we're not doing it now, but I think I need... You're going to see some weird stuff in a second here. Just ignore it. I'll explain everything that's changed. Do we have any void metal at all? I don't think we do. No, we don't, unfortunately. Okay, I thought we did. I have not made void metal yet, but you can create it by or you can get it by looting those crimson towers. The crimson fortresses have it as decorative block, as a decorative block on the walls, so you can get it there. Anyway, let me give you a quick rundown of everything that's changed, and then we can move on to more interesting things. So first of all, I'm not sure if there's a limit to how many pages of things you can have on the tablets, but there doesn't seem to be one. I've looked it up. I tried looking it up on the internet to see if there is a limit to how many things can be on this table. I couldn't find an answer to that question, so I'm going to assume there either isn't one or the limit is so high it's irrelevant. So I've essentially been throwing every resource I have that has an EMC value onto the tablet as a way to condense space, so we aren't taking up much space. Like, all the mundane metals are now out of this metal chest. This is exotic substances and alloys only. All gold, all iron, all nickel, all aluminum, all tin, everything else, I threw it all onto the table. Same is true of the gemstones. Everything that has an EMC value has been thrown onto the table. This is just all the stuff that doesn't. Okay. Let's get started with what this is, okay? But first, before we need to explain this, we need to get into woots, okay? So Woot is one of the big things I've done in the intervening period of time. Woot allows you, essentially, to create a mob factory, which is just a multi-block that simulates spawning and killing a mob. But it doesn't actually. What's really happening, I think, is it costs a certain amount of energy, and sometimes it costs items too. And then it will essentially do a process. It'll think about it, and then it will give you a hit off of that creature's drop table, and it'll repeat that. This is a very lag-free, server-friendly way to farm mob drops, because you're not actually spawning in any creatures like you would in a traditional mob farm in Minecraft. I think in Industrial Foregoing there's even a block. There are blocks specifically for this. Where are you? Yeah, the Wither Builder, and then I don't know what it's called. It may not be called Wither, but it's essentially there's a machine that can build the Wither by base area 3x2 width and height, and then there's another Industrial Foregoing machine that will kill a Wither, right, automatically, so you can do it over and over and over again. Woot is more efficient than that. It never actually spawns the creature at all, right? It just... Really? There's a web slinger? Oh, but it's not like a Spider-Man thing. It's like a gun that shoots cobwebs. Okay, that's less interesting. Anyway, don't get distracted. So Woot allows you to simulate killing mobs. You create this by... We've got some new boss lures to play with, by the way. But you can create this this multi-block by building these different things, and the intern will actually tell you what you need. I had a tier 4 setup, or maybe it was a tier 3. It might have been a tier 3. Anyway, the point is, I had a second to highest tier. Let me see. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, I had a tier 3 setup, okay? And I was using it to farm Scorchers, to simulate Scorcher drops, which is how I got all of the Scorcher dust I needed to, for instance, make some of the things you're seeing around here, like these Ender tanks. But I think we're going to upgrade to the tier 4 because this is the one that's capable of simulating boss drops. There is a plan here. There's a reason I'm doing that. We have reached the stage in the Twilight Forest where we can go into the maze, we can go into the labyrinth that the Minotaur is in. But I don't want to do it without the Divine Shikaxe, because the Divine Shikaxe... The maze is made of maze stone, okay? And the way the Twilight Forest tries to enforce you to obey the maze, instead of making the maze walls indestructible, they're just really, 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 really tough. However, the Divine Shikaxe has an efficiency of 20, which is crazy high. And then the Dire Pick, if we were to supercraft it, which we can easily do, I think we have all of these engraved coins, and we also can make pyrite dust. But if we were to supercraft it, the Dire Pick, in addition to having the inherent 20 efficiency, also is further enchanted with efficiency XX. So it has a native efficiency of 20, plus it's got an enchanted efficiency of 20. If anything, modded things that break blocks usually still respect hardness. They pay lip service to it. So a lot of modded ways of digging or breaking blocks aren't going to work on the maze stone, in the maze. The Dire Pick might, though, because it's just raw efficiency through the roof. So before we go to the Twilight Forest and progress through that, I want the Dire Pick. Now, to get the Dire Pick, of course, we need the 3 tools. To get the 3 tools, we need Divine Stones, and each Divine Stone costs 9 Divine Shards. Well, as it turns out, I went ahead and summoned the big guy again, the really big one. Ancient Entity. And I slapped him with one of the Ender Shards and then killed him, which is how you program an Ender Shard with that. The unprogrammed ones look like this. They're not programmed. These shards are. So the reason I picked him is because... If we look at him, he has a pretty small drop pool. He drops this sand slash weapon, which I don't care about. We could trash these if we wanted to. He drops the statue. He drops ancient remnants, which are transmutable. And then he drops divine shards. He has a really tiny drop pool as far as bosses are concerned. The only one who has a smaller one is the epithite. But I don't know how to spawn this one yet. I don't think I can. I can't summon this guy yet. So we're doing it to him. And I want to build a woot farm for him. But this guy definitely qualifies as a boss. And to do boss mobs, you need a tier 4 factory. So the first thing we're going to do before we do anything else is we're going to set up a tier 4 factory. I've already prepared everything in advance because I wanted to show you how this works. And then we will have that running in the background, okay, while we are screaming and dying in other dimensions, okay? Let's go ahead and actually, hold on, I apologize. Before we do that, we need to actually make the controller, because the controller is what will enable that to happen. So let me go upstairs and show you. Yeah, it's sunrise. Good. We're not going to get jumped in the middle of the night. Let me show you where I had the tier 3 Woot Factory, which we're going to replace with the tier 4 one. I've already pulled it down. Each of the tiers essentially adds more stuff onto the next tier, so it's convenient. This is where I had it set up, and we're also going to have a conversation about what that little knob is. This is not Flux Ducts from Thermodynamics. This is a Flux Point from Flux Networks, but essentially, this is where we're going to have it. It's going to be set up here. But this is also a basic power cell, a factory importer, and an exporter. If your factory needs any items to operate, they will be put into the importer, and everything it outputs will be pushed out of the exporters. You can see here, I have been running the Scorcher one, and this is everything that drops from those. And this is the factory controller for the Scorcher. It says Mob Scorcher tier 3. Okay, we're going to be making an ancient entity factory controller because that's what controls what the factory farms. Now, higher tier factories can farm lower tier creatures. If we wanted to, we could plug in the Scorcher into the tier 4, or we could plug a skeleton or anything else into it. But you can't go above your tier. You can only go down. So the higher tiers are backwards compatible. This gave us, let me go ahead and take this stuff out of here and just sort this. Okay, there we go. This gave us a ton of sulfur. It gave us all this purple blaze. Boy, remember when we were dry on purple blaze? It also has given us these shards, tier 2s, tier 3s, and tier 4s, which we can use to make more factories, right? They're used to make more factory casing blocks. Technically, the factory casing blocks can be made with two things, like the blaze casing can be made with either blaze rods or tier 2 shards. As far as I can tell, since the Scorcher was a tier 3, I think what it's doing is it's giving shards of both a tier above, tier 4, and a tier below the tier where it's at, as well as the tier it's on. So I think boss tiers will only give tier 4s and tier 3s, I think. We also got a lot of solidified XP, red hearts, Infernium Essence, and Intestines. This should give us all the divine shards we need to make that stuff, okay? So I'm looking forward to that. And the efficiency upgrades they just make it cheaper to run. Okay, we are reaching the point where we're going to have to evolve our energy processing, and I'm going to show you off a bit of that too. But this is where it was, so we're going to go ahead and bring all the stuff up, and we're going to build the new one. But first we have to make another factory controller, which I believe I've done almost everything necessary for that. We just have to slap it together. And we will do an ancient entity factory controller and turn it on. Now, the vanilla bosses, when you do an ender dragon or a wither, you have to provide the factory with either the substances necessary to build the wither, or 4 of those end crystal things that you put down to resummon the dragon. I do not actually know if, actually no, wait, we need to build the thing first, don't we? I keep getting ahead of myself, I'm sorry. We are going to need... was it all in here? Yeah, it was. We're going to need a factory controller. Yeah. So we need a factory base, the controller core, and a fully programmed shard. So we need a factory base, a controller core. Yep. Which we make from this prism and a Stygian iron plate on the core die. And just to double check, that is how we do it. The controller core is prism plate on a core die. Okay. Prism plate core die. There we go. Now we do this, where I believe it is the controller core. We put down the the fully programmed shard, then throw the controller core and the factor base on it and bop it. Okay, and that'll give us an ancient entity core. Okay. Take the die plate, put it back, put the shard down. Now we do this. Boop, boop, doop. There we go. Really? The ancient entity is a tier 3? Are you kidding me? It's a boss mob. Why is it a tier 3 and not a tier 4? Okay. I'm not going to complain about that. I was expecting that to be a boss. I literally went ahead and got all of the stuff needed to make a boss tier thing. We're going to go ahead and make the tier 4 anyway. We're going to build it because they're backwards compatible. There's no reason to not make a tier 4. We're going to need a tier 4 eventually anyway. By the way, as you can see, I have a bunch of shards that I've programmed. I did find the nethogenic beast, by the way, in the nether. I'll show you that if I can remember to do it. It's not that shocking. It looks like a deer. There's a room in the current nether fortress that's right next to where we spawned in the nether that has it. But I only found it because I was flattening out the terrain to create sort of a wither skeleton farm by flattening out the nether fortress and spreading the nether brick blocks everywhere so they can spawn. I found that. I did a void walker because we need, I don't remember what it is they dropped that we need, but I think was it void scales? A guardian, I found guardians, and I'm using that for prismarine and stuff like that. Because remember, we haven't made it yet, but we do now have everything we need to make Tinker's Armor. But I want sponge before we do that. I have found an undersea monument, and we have everything we need to go clear it. I'd like to do it this episode if possible, but we'll see about that. But if we can get our hands on some sponge, I'm going to make Tinker's Armor this episode if possible. Ice Wraiths, Wizards, because they drop wizard loot. We could get all the spellbooks that way. I don't remember why I got Ice Wraiths. Was it because I had a reason for every single one of these? I think the Ice Wraith was because it's one of the modified blazes from Thermal Expansion. It drops Thermal Expansion stuff, I think is why I grabbed that one. The Mother Void Walker drops the curiosities that give you free research if you use them for Thumbcraft. The Cockatrice, I just found one. I tried to get, so here's the thing. And Shadow Beasts for Shadow Gems, the full-sized ones. The Cyclops, actually wait, let me explain that in a moment. Feral ghouls spawn in radioactive areas, and they drop uranium. The bars, they drop uranium bars, so I got that as a way to perhaps fuel a nuclear reactor in the future. Blizzes are the same, I think, as the Ice Wraiths. I got a Blizz thing because it's one of the modified blazes from Thermal Expansion. Witches have a variety of useful drops. They just drop a lot of different things. The Cyclops and the Cockatrice are both ice and fire mobs. The reason I have taken them is because that key that we need, there's mausoleums in the overworld that I've found that need this key. Ice and fire. Or actually, it'll be easier to just do this. Cyclops. So, can be placed on the ground as a trophy. This thing, the Gravemaster's Key, is needed to open those doors. It also seems to be necessary to open the doors in Icica, because it's the same kind of lock. Yeah. However, this thing requires Dragon Skulls, which we can do. It requires Cyclops Skulls, which I haven't found one yet, but I was able to get a Cyclops Woot shard, so we can kill Cyclopses in Woot in a mob factory until we get the skull. And it requires a troll tusk. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have not seen a troll since the beginning when we found that troll after we went through that battle tower. I have not seen a living troll since. I literally went to all of the different biomes that they can spawn in. I can't find one. I dug out large artificial caves underneath each of the biomes that they can spawn in, and just hung out and waited for a while. Never saw another one. I don't know how we're going to make this key without the troll tusks. I'm just going to have to keep looking, I guess. But we do need a Grave Master's Key. It's on the docket. That's why I have a Cyclops one, and I found the Cockatrice. I figured why not? I'll take that too. And the Shadow Beast is here because it drops full-size gems. Anyway, I've got plans for Woots, different things that we can construct. Let's go ahead and start that farm and start it working, and then I will explain everything that it is we are doing this episode. Let's go ahead and build it. The intern can build the farm for you, by the way. It is capable of constructing everything for you, which is very, very nice. You can just shift and click it to switch through the presets, 2, 3, 4, to control what it's attempting to build. For your own convenience, you can make it even more convenient. I haven't done it, but you can make one of these factory layout, right-click to change tiers, right-click to change levels. This is a book, a bone, and rotten flesh. This will show you like a 3D layout of all of it, so you can see where it all is and place it. Okay, but let's go ahead and do this. Now, if I recall correctly, we need to put the factory heart down first. Right, and then it's going to go like this. I think. Yeah, it does. It's building it. You see how it's building it slowly? Actually, I'm facing the wrong way. Let me fix this because it's going to bother me. I apologize. I guess since it's floating in the air, the facing doesn't really matter, but it matters to me. Okay. There we go. And now it'll work. And as I'm right-clicking it, it's automatically building everything. Okay. It's taking the stuff directly out of my inventory and attempting to build the mob factory with what I have. It doesn't matter where you put, by the way, the factory exporter, the importer, and the power cell, but they do have to be directly below the factory heart at a good distance no greater than 10 blocks. No greater than 10 blocks down, just for the record. There's also, I'm sorry, why do you keep switching your direction? I mean, whatever. I'm not going to fight this thing over it. I don't know why the factory heart keeps changing its directions. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what direction it's facing when it's floating in midair. And when everything is done and correct, you see how the blocks they've got gaps in them. Everything will snap together. We're getting pretty close. Everything will snap together, and those gaps will disappear, and that's how you know you've built it correctly and it is functional. Okay, it's done. This is what a fully constructed Tier 4 mob farm looks like. It's quite large. Each successive tier is bigger than the last one. So the tiers 3, 2, and 1 are like nestled in here. Then we just take the factory controller and put it right here. And that completes it. You see everything snaps together. Okay, this is now a fully operational one. And I'm going to go ahead and take these efficiency upgrades out and reapply them. The way the upgrades work is you have 4 slots. These upgrade bases are where you put them. You have to have these, and if the upgrades have to stack in order. So the efficiency tier 1 goes first, and you see how it expands and fits into its place. Then if we want to add the tier 3, we can't. We can't like put it here. It's not going to work, right? See, it's just sort of floating in the air. It's not functioning like that. We have to put the tier 2 upgrade. Boop. See, it snaps in, and then finally, boop, tier 3. And now it's fully upgraded like that. So this is the ancient entity. It's already working. It's already functioning because the stuff downstairs is set up for that. And as you can see, it's spawning 4, 3... Oh, and we are getting tier 2 shards. Nice. We're getting yellow hearts from boss mobs, epic shader grab bags. We're getting ancient remnants, divine shards, and then inferium essence, intestines, and solidified experience, which we get from everything. And you can apply a lever to the factory heart if you want, and I can turn this off. As you can see, it powers up, it fills its charge, and it stops. And I can just turn it back on. And as you can see, we are already getting drops. We already have 6 more divine shards than we did previously. I might have to replace... Oh, this is a large storage crate. So we're just going to leave this running for now. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys this on screen so you can see it. We have room for 3 more slots if we wanted to. There is a way. There is integration in Woot for both Blood Magic and Evilcraft. Evilcraft is not in this pack, but Blood Magic is. We can essentially make it so it simulates sacrificing these creatures for their blood, too. And we can set it up so it either fills a nearby altar, or it fills a tank with LP that can be pumped then into a nearby altar. And I think I'm going to do that second one instead, because I don't really need to keep a single altar topped off, at least not right now. There are reasons why you would want to do that later. But for now, I think it would be nice to passively generate huge amounts of blood, or LP, and just keep it in reserve in a couple gargantuan drums. So I will eventually probably make these Blood Magic Life Essence tank upgrades and apply them as well. So we're harvesting free blood, free LP from this too. But I just wanted to bring that up. That's a thing you can do. It's very, very convenient. Okay. Now then, let's get into the meat of some of the explanations, and then let's get out of here. Because again, we've got stuff I want to do. I'm kind of afraid I'm not going to be able to get to all of it this episode. I don't think I will be able to. But we're going to prioritize. We're going to the Dimension Doors dimension first. Because I don't know how long that's going to take. It could take 10 minutes, or we could be there for 5 hours, right? It depends. I actually have my phone in front of me, sitting on my desk, and before we go in, I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. When that timer goes off, we're leaving no matter what, because I don't want to spend too much time there. Okay, so I've got some basics in Botania set up over here. We've started it on Botania mostly because I wanted the Ring of Magnetism, which makes it so when things are dropped nearby, they get sucked to you. It works even if you don't have a filled mana tablet in your inventory, but the range of it is dramatically increased if you do. The basics of Botania is you have to make a Pure Daisy first, okay, to get into Botania. Pure Daisy. A Pure Daisy is made by throwing either 4 white mushrooms or 4 mystical white petals into a petal apothecary that's filled with water, and then throwing vanilla Minecraft seeds into it, and you get a Pure Daisy. Okay, and what the Pure Daisy does is it can turn vanilla Minecraft stone, and it can turn any vanilla Minecraft wood. The logs specifically. We'll go with acacia. You'll know it's working because these sparkles are happening. It'll turn stone into living rock, and it'll turn wood into living wood, which we have some... Oh, I have some in here. I could have used that. But this is living wood, this is living rock. And these are the 2 building blocks for everything in Botania. You need these. Botania is a system that works off of mana, and this is a very basic system I have set up here. There's what's called generator flowers, which are flowers that generate mana under certain conditions. Endoflames will eat nearby fuels. Anything that can be put into a furnace, an endoflame can eat. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they will generate mana. Okay, what I've done is I've made 4 endoflames. I've linked them to a mana spreader, so the mana that they create, instead of being held in their own internal inventory, it'll be transferred to the mana spreader. Then the mana spreader is aimed directly down into this mana pool, which means the mana will collect here, and I can then pull it out in various ways. Now, this is a really simple... You can see we've already turned the stone into living rock, and I imagine the wood is about to pop too. Let's go ahead and put the living rock in there. Yep, there it is, living wood. That's what living wood looks like. I'm breaking it with a pickaxe because I'm too lazy to do anything else. There we go. This is a very, very basic setup. It can be said very safely that everything in Botania can be automated with nothing more than Botania itself and vanilla Minecraft redstone stuff. This is a good example of that. The alloy wire is from ProjectRed. ProjectRed adds a lot of very handy things to Minecraft that are redstone related, like logic gates, which I freely admit I am a dingus and I'm not smart enough to utilize logic gates intelligently. But you're probably smarter than me. So the fact that they give Zor and Nor gates and stuff like that you can make probably means a lot to you. Doesn't mean anything to me. The real benefit, though, is... Well, I broke that too. But the real nice thing is this redstone alloy wire, okay, which is pretty easy to make. You can look this up. It's only... red alloy. So what you do is you make, oh, where is it? No, that's not it. Where on earth? Why are you like this? Oh, it's red alloy ingot. There we go. So you take an iron ingot surrounded by redstone to get a red iron compound. Please note this has an EMC value. You can put these on the table. Then you cook it to turn it into a red alloy ingot, and 3 of them in a row get you 12 of these alloy wires. The alloy wires function exactly like redstone, but you can like put them on walls and stuff. They don't just have to be on the ground. You can also make structured wire, which allows you to place it free floating, like straight up. Doesn't even have to be supported, it supports itself. And you can color coat these. That's the framed alloy. That's what I was talking about. You can color coat these by applying different, where is it? Yeah, here it is. By applying different wools will get you insulated wire. Different colors of insulated wire will not interfere with each other. So you can put them right next to each other and they won't, like purple lines won't interact with red lines and stuff like that, which is really cool. And you can change what line you're on by using vanilla Minecraft dyes. There's also an even cooler feature, bundled cable. And what that does is I could have, for instance, a red line, a blue line, and a green line all come in and go through a single block using the bundled cable, and then have red, blue, and green spout off of it in different directions, and it will respect the colors. So you can run multiple different signals through a single block without having them interfere with each other, which is crazy, right? But I'm not doing anything that fancy. This is a very simple setup. It's easier perhaps to demonstrate it, but what this does is the hopper pushes coal into an open crate from Botania, which just drops things straight to the ground. The coal then lands on a wooden pressure plate and activates a redstone signal, which you can see by the wire lighting up. This feeds into the hopper, which means as long as there's a piece of coal sitting on the pressure plate, the hopper is turned off and won't feed anything more into the crate. This means that the endo flames are fed exactly as much coal as I want them to have, or whatever fuel I put in this. And then whenever one of them is finished processing the coal that they've eaten, they'll eat the next piece of coal, and the cycle will continue. And this allows you to essentially automate the production of mana very quickly and cheaply. This is very basic Botania, very beginner stuff. Normally you'd need a little bit of a, not a complicated redstone thing, but you'd need something like some blocks and maybe a redstone torch or something to get this. But with ProjectRed transmission, with a red alloy wire, this becomes stupid easy. It's just 2 pieces of red alloy wire to accomplish that. Anyway, let's move on. I have fully committed to a power flower. This is a full-sized one that is completely finished. It's also not creating stone anymore because we have enough cobblestone. Right now it's creating dark matter. The reason is because we are starting to reach things in the pack that need large amounts of dark matter and red matter to craft, to give us some conveniences we're going to need. So I wanted a fully functional power flower. We're probably going to make more than one of these too, which is another reason I wanted the Shadow Beast Woot Shard, is so I can just start making shadow gems. This storage crate feeds directly into the condenser Mark II. This is one of the benefits of having a condenser Mark II, is I could do, oh, I don't know, this, right? And what the condenser Mark II is, you can use it as almost like a trash can that converts things to EMC. Yeah, see, it's feeding the diamonds in, and then they're going in and being converted into EMC in chunks, and it's helping to make more dark matter. You see that? So this is like my new trash can now. Anything I get from loot that I don't want that has an EMC value gets chucked in there. It's also where I'm disposing of most of my chicken stuff now, is the dyes and the emeralds that they're making go straight in there. Okay, we're almost done, I promise, and then we're going to go scream and die. So, ender chests and ender tanks. I remember while I was editing an older episode I had talked about this, how ender chests aren't what you think they are, right, in vanilla Minecraft, that they don't do what you think they do. That they're actually just accessing a secret inventory you can't see. So ender storage adds ender tanks and ender chests that do work the way you think they would. Check this. Because all of these are on the same channel, which is white, 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 they all open and shut in the same way, and they all share the same inventory. I'm sure somebody who has more redstone expertise than I do could figure out a way to make a piano using ender chests, but that requires more intelligence than me. Now, the real rub, though, is I will eventually be using ender chests to move stuff around item-wise, but the real benefit to this is that it lets you do this with fluids too. Ender tanks do it with fluids, which means we can do fun things like this. I've got an ender tank tuned to lava. It's on the orange channel. It's feeding lava directly into these seared tanks. Okay, so these will remain topped off in perpetuity. They'll always be full. Likewise, I have over here another one on the orange channel feeding lava directly into this magma anvil. So this will always remain topped off as well. As you can see, it's remaining topped off. Check that. And we're also doing the same with water, and I'll be doing the same with LP as well, liquid blood from the thing. We'll have a channel for that too. There's two major things I've changed in here besides adding more blocks that do processes, which is just a necessary part of the escalation of modded Minecraft. One is the fertilizer system has been torn down, and it's been replaced with a high-pressure boiler tank from Railcraft. This is because we need steam. And since we're on camera now, I'm going to claim this reward. We did get something for making this. Cute. Thank you for your Enderbound amulet that I don't really care about. I literally already had one. But we need to progress to make the reactor controller legacy for basic fission. We need reactor casings. To make reactor casings, we needed steamed slime. As you can clearly see, steam comes from the Railcraft boiler multi-block. We need to take steam and, using a fluid transposer, infuse it into these orange slime balls that come from the nether, the nether slime islands. This will turn them into steamed slime. And again, please note, these slime balls have an EMC value. So once you get one of them, you can put it on the table and make as many as you want. So I did make 64 reactor casings. I haven't made the reactor controller yet because I wanted to do that on screen. But to do this, we needed this. Okay, I didn't have to go this big, but apparently a lot of stuff in the pack suggests that the most efficient way to make energy for where we are is going to involve using steam and putting it through things and using the reactor for that purpose. So I went ahead and made a steam boiler, a big boy one, to start making it. I put 8 blocks of coal in this thing, and it filled a demonically gargantuan drum with steam. You can see that is full. And it also had more left over, and it put more into this one as well. Okay, so this thing is very good at making steam. And this and a few other multi-blocks will eventually become the heart of what will be our energy production for the foreseeable future. Speaking of energy production, the last thing we're going to touch on before we get out of here is this. I made this. So there's two things happening in this room. We're feeding the steam dynamos. These are basics. And we're feeding the magmatic dynamos. Okay. Now, the steam dynamos, they are getting fuel from these blocks of coal that I have put in here. And it is feeding in from the bottom. I can turn this off by throwing this switch. Water is being produced and fed into the system from this ender tank, and it's going in the back. Speaking of which, all of the water is coming from this system right here, which is a 2x2 endervoir that is feeding into an iron drum from Extra Utilities that's acting as sort of a break, as a stopgap. And then it is feeding from there into an ender tank set to blue, which is going to be our water channel for ender tanks. So that's where the water's coming from. What I have discovered is this. If we do Neth, there we go. Netherrack is very cheap. It only has an EMC value of 1, which is equal to cobble. Okay, it is equal to cobble in terms of how cheap it is. However, in a squeezer, if you put it in a mechanical squeezer, each piece of netherrack is worth 1 bucket of lava. So I have a small storage crate here that I can fill with netherrack. It feeds netherrack into this mechanical squeezer, which then squeezes it. The squeezer is set to auto-eject fluids to adjacent tanks, which pushes it into this demonically gargantuan drum of lava, which then feeds down into this ender tank, right? Which puts it into the orange network, and then from there it pulls from the tank and goes into each of these magmatic dynamos, which is kept topped off with lava. So this is flux networks, is what I'm looking at right now, this flux point. And what this is wireless energy. We have this flux plug that is plugged into the bottom of my HV capacitor wall. Okay, these are feeding energy into the top of it, and then it is going in an S shape from here down to here, down to here, and then down. Okay, anything that I set this channel to, okay, you need a flux controller for this. But essentially what this does is I can select it and I can create any channel I want and name it. I named mine Sorcerer's Dripwork because I'm a menace to society at large and someone should execute me immediately. But you can create multiple networks if you want. Okay. You can name a network, set it to public or private. Since this is a single player world, that doesn't matter. The energy type that's being used is redstone flux. It's forge compatible, and then I can change the color of what the network is. I went with yellow because, I don't know, I went with goldish yellow. And it'll tell you what's happening. We can see that there's several flux points in the system that are draining RF. I believe this one that's draining 1,000 every tick is probably the Woot farm upstairs. And then we can see that we're feeding more than 1,000 into it from this input, right? We also have a basic storage over here, which is hovering around roughly 1 million RF. Stuff is getting added into it and pulled out at a pretty even rate, which is quite nice. We are kind of 876. Yes. I think this is because we're using the tier 4. It is now actively taking more energy than it's being put in. When it was at a tier 3 and I was doing the Scorcher, everything was fine. And we were balanced, but now I think I'm going to end up draining all of my power because we're spending more than we're making. But anyway, the point is you can set anything to this network. And just to show you, right, if I break this, and then I think I can craft it to remove its data. There we go. Provides energy to adjacent blocks actively, removing energy from your flux network. Okay, I can do this, and then watch. Please select a network. Network selection. Sorcerer's Dripwork. There we go. Now it's providing power to the mechanical squeezer. The reason I haven't gone wireless on everything is because this stuff is actually really expensive. If we do flux. Flux Network is one of the most powerful mods in modded Minecraft with how simple and strong it is. However, to make all of these different things, we need flux cores. Flux itself is pretty easy to make. You can make this in bulk very, very quickly, the flux. But the flux cores are made using this recipe, which is obsidian, which we can make. It has an EMC value. Flux, which isn't bad. Iron chipsets, which take time to craft, but they're not... The iron chipsets are the real holdback here, because they take time to make. Eyes of Ender, a pure flux crystal, and this makes 4 of them. However, if we can get dimensional ingots, which, hey, look, they're found in the deep dark. It's almost like there's a reason we're doing the stuff we're doing this episode. You can instead quadruple the output, and you can make 12 flux cores with each transaction instead of just 4. So, I haven't committed to making huge amounts of these yet, and instead I'm just using it to teleport energy around to strategic locations on my base. Eventually, this is all going to get torn down and thrown away. In fact, technically, I could upgrade these dynamos, and I probably should, because we now have tons of platinum. And I'll show you that, too, before we leave. One last thing before we go is that. Going to the end has kind of opened up some options for us. And one of them is... Where are you? This. Sheldonite ore. It looks like this. This is platinum. It is found in the end. Okay, it's pretty easy to... It's not that difficult to find. You can even find it on the surface of the islands if you look. I taught my scanner to scan for it. I used one of the programmable cards to teach it to specifically look for that. And then I went and dug it up, which is the reason why we now have 2 full stacks of platinum ingots. So we can afford to make resonant upgrade kits. And that's probably what I'll do. Is that improves both the strength and the efficiency of these thermal expansion dynamos. I'll probably upgrade all of these and see if doing that won't let it stay on top of the drain. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Once you go to the end, you live in a post-platinum world. You can go and get as much Sheldonite as you want. It's very, very, very nice. So, let's go scream and die in the hell dimension. Okay. Now, I would like to once again reiterate that the command you want to know about is \tb restore inventory. And this is what makes it so you can get your inventory back remotely in Coriel Tombstone. Okay. We might have to use that with where we're going today. Maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Normally, without TB Restore, there would be a limit to what I'd be willing to bring in, and this is actually the stuff I had prepared to take with me into the dungeon dimension in case I wanted to ditch everything and just carry essentials: fire charm, wing charm, air charm, void charm, lava charm, hang glider, climbing gloves, and the redstone dank null. I thought I was very clever. I'm gonna use this, I think, for blocks. Are these backpacks emptied, except for the decorative one? Let me go empty this one, because we shouldn't be needing most of what's in here. Also, I figured out how to summon things using Advent of Ascension. We have penguins. I could have chosen between using summoning a pink bunny rabbit as our starter creature or a penguin. I think we're going to summon the penguin instead. I think that reminded me to do that. And this is what you do it with, the Creation Forge. He's probably going to die in another dimension. But... Hello? I thought I was supposed to get a penguin. Do I not get a penguin? I heard a pating. Requires level 1 creation. I mean, I have level 1 creation. Do I not? I'm not sure where the penguins are, but I don't know. Maybe I don't understand how that works. Anyway, we're going to go there. And actually, before we do, I want to show you one more thing. I don't know why this happened. I think it was a lightning storm that set it on fire. But the Redwood Lab is, well, I mean... It's more of a redwood flying saucer because the tree is gone. This wasn't a flux accident, at least I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because the lab is still here and I was monitoring the flux level pretty religiously to make sure that it didn't, like, go away. So I think what happened is there was a lightning strike that burned the tree down, which is why some of the wood is smoked on the corners, but the stone is all fine. A flux accident would not have respected the stone. The arcane stone brick would have been destroyed too. I just wanted you to see this before I fix it. I don't think I'll grow another tree here, but I will fix the floor. I'll patch it up. But yeah, our treehouse burned down. I guess this is an inherent danger of, you know, living in a treehouse, is there's always the possibility of a tree fire. But anyway, moving on. Oh, let's see. Where can we go? Because we don't want to do this near the base. We want to find the dimension doors dimension that's far away from the base. And I'll explain why when we get there. I guess we can teleport to... Let's teleport to where the dragon died. Yeah, these mountain biomes and forest caves and stuff that I did were me looking for trolls. I went to all the biomes they can spawn in and went looking for them and could not find them. You know what? It's fine. Let's just go in a direction and we'll do the first one we see. Let's fly away from all of this and we will just keep an eye out for one, because we will come across one eventually. Actually, I'm gonna sleep to make the rain go away, because that's just obnoxious. When it's raining, the glider does not function as well. It's constantly being pushed down. There we go. That's much better. Okay. So, let's talk about the Dimension Doors dimension. We need to go there to get Dimension Thread, okay, which is the only substance left stopping us from making a deep dark portal, which I need to go to get a variety of substances I don't currently have, including cursed rocks, dimension ingots, and a couple of other things. The Dimension Doors dimension, as I believe I explained in a previous episode, is essentially the Tomb of Horrors in Minecraft. It is a giant, sprawling, randomly generated death trap that is fully intended to kill you. Oh, hey, there's a fairy village right there. That's cute. As such, you need to cultivate an intense degree of paranoia about you when you go into this dimension. You need to assume that absolutely everything is trying to kill you, because it is. It may take a minute for things to begin to threaten you. It can lull you into a sort of false sense of security at first. Do not be fooled by this. Don't be. Okay. Do not be fooled, because it will eventually do something really, really rude. Now, I'm actually going to have to do something this episode that I don't do normally, which is there is part of the stuff in our quest book literally tells us to go and enter. I don't remember what it's called, limbo or whatever. It's the dimension that is what tree is that? I'm sorry. That's a very oddly colored tree. Oh, it's one of these. I've seen these before. It's fine. I think I've chopped one of those down. I've got saplings for that. But we have to go there, and we have to be really careful, essentially, is all I'm saying. I know I've marked a few of them down on maps if we don't find one by just flying in a straight line. The reason you don't want to do this close to anything you care about is once you enter a portal, it'll break. And the broken portal isn't like a direct threat, but the problem it presents is you get really increased spawn rates for Endermen near them as the portal destabilizes. So it can become a problem. Yeah, I'm not seeing one. If we don't see one in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to teleport to one that I know I've already marked. But that one was a little bit... the few that I know the location of are a little bit too close to things I like for my comfort. I'd rather do this in the middle of nowhere. I will do my best to show you some ways to cheese certain things the Dimension Doors dimension. It really is about pre-knowledge. Just knowing traps ahead of time and knowing what rooms are dangerous and what rooms aren't. But I am not an expert by any means. There's a lot of stuff in that dimension I've never seen, and it's quite dangerous. So hope and pray for my soul. I am not seeing one, unfortunately. So I think we're gonna have to just go to one of the ones I've already found. Figures. Oh wait, no, there's one. I was gonna say figures. We're tripping over them when we don't want to see them, but when I'm looking for one to use, we can't find one. Okay, this is it. Now I'm gonna mark this. This is Dimension Door. There we go. Okay. Pray for my soul. We don't need that. I'm going to keep that on. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We'll hold on to that, actually. Okay. So the first thing you should always do whenever you walk into the Dimension Doors dimension is freeze. Don't move and look straight down to make sure you're not standing on a pressure plate. It doesn't look like we're standing on a pressure plate. We appear to be okay. So I'm going to move on. Now, there is an enemy in the Dimension Doors dimension. But... it's not a typical enemy. It's more like a Legend of Zelda trap, like the Wall Masters. Okay. I always dismantle any redstone contraptions I see on the off chance that they're a trap, because they usually are. As you can see, we are just going into the walls and stuff. This is the substance that most stuff in this dimension is made out of, dimensional fabric. It is harvestable with a silk touch pick, and we do need dimensional fabric for certain things. I'm actually going to go ahead and take this off and put a fresh backpack on. We're going to put everything we get from here into one backpack. We do need fabric of reality for certain things. Fabric. Oh, we did. The pack tells us we need it for certain things. Unraveled fabric, excuse me, found in dimension doors mined with silk touch. And then it's used to make the vengeful key, which opens the door to the will crystal monolith. We need that. That's coming up soonish. So we need unraveled fabric. Anyway, there is a dimension that it kind of wants us to go to, and we have a quest for it under... Where are you? Book of Worlds. The Deep Dark. The Emptiness. Die in a dimension door, which I believe this is telling us... While for many creatures it's impossible to perceive nor travel through higher dimensions, it is possible to explore them thanks to the doors left all over the surface of Terra. The key behind these rifts appears to be blood magic. Apparently, if enough life essence is sacrificed, higher dimensions can be connected to each other. Some of the great secrets of blood arts are hidden in higher dimensional fortresses that can only be reached through these doors. Which I think means fall out of the world in the dimension doors dimension, because there's not really enemies in the dimension doors dimension. I guess worst case scenario, I could find a way to commit suicide in here, but the idea is there's another dimension that you can access, which I've affectionately called Super Hell, but it's like limbo. In vanilla dimension doors, there's no reason to like... Okay, this isn't a trap. I didn't trust this area, but there's fabric of reality there. You can tell that's not a hole because pay attention. See, it says fabric of reality up top, so that's not a hole. I can stand on this. Be careful what you trust. Always watch and make sure you're not about to step into the void. But anyway, so the basic rule for dimension doors is this: wooden doors go up. Think of it like a book, okay, where the pages are all lying closed. It's like a closed book, okay. It's in layers. Okay, you start at the top and you start going down, okay? The further down you go, the more dangerous it gets and the better the loot. To go up layers, you take wooden doors. To go down layers, you take iron doors. So to go deeper, take iron doors. To go higher, back up towards the quote-unquote surface, you take wooden doors. So since this is tier 1, taking a wooden door would take us back outside. We don't want that. We want to do this. But before we do that, I'm going to show you like the most important thing I know about dimension doors, and it's this. If we go into journey map, you can't really tell, but all of this takes place in the same dimension. Okay, the dimension door stuff, we're basically floating in a void, which means we can use journey map to cheese this to prevent us from getting too lost. So I'm going to go DD, dimension doors, our DD1, because this is our first instance of the dimension doors dimension, DD1, R1. So this is our first room, and I'm going to create a waypoint. We can teleport back to this later. We can come back here if we need to, okay? DD1, R1. Okay. Hold still, look down, okay. Journey map is invaluable for the dimension doors because it allows you to set these custom markers. This looks hella trapped, y'all. And it also lets you see the Wallmaster style enemies. What they are is they're like eyes that'll slowly begin to open in the darkness. And if they open all the way and look at you, you get teleported straight to Super Hell. Dangerous Black Void is the dimension we're in. I don't really see anything here. I don't think there is anything in this room. I've never seen this room before. This is a new room for me. Is there anything under the tree? Yes, there's a diamond block here. This is our little treasure reward. Nice. Okay. Okay. I'm going to call this J. I think if you actually look, you can see way off in the distance, 520 meters away, DD1R1 is way over there. If I turned creative mode on and like gave myself the ability to punch through like bedrock and other invincible substances, I could fly right back to DD1R1. That's the thing you need to remember is all this takes place in the same dimension. Okay, so we can use Journey Map to help. We're going to call this DD1R2 dead end. Okay, so now we know this is a dead end. And we're going to go back. We're going to continue. These things can take a while. In fact, let me go ahead and set that timer because I know I've spent some time here already. Let me go ahead and set it for 20 minutes. Let me just unlock my phone real fast. We are going to pull up clock. Let me step forwards first. Okay, this isn't a trap, shockingly enough. I don't believe that for a second. This looks very dangerous. Clock. And come on, don't make me wait. Yeah, let's set it for 20 minutes. Okay, I've got a timer for 20 minutes. Now, whenever you see a room you don't trust like this, first check Journey Map. You see how there's no red dots outside this room? That means there's no watchers, or whatever it is they're called, in this room. So we're fine. My suggestion is to dig up. Dig out of this immediately. Don't trust this. If it looks sketch, don't trust it. Like, just don't even be here. We can leave. Okay. I think what this room is, I think I've seen this room before. This room is going to try and get us to go up these stairs blind, but there's going to be a tripwire, I think. That will screw us, is what happens in this room. Let me knock the ceiling out and we'll check that. Sometimes it's also worth noting there are rooms that look identical to trap rooms, but they're not traps and they're meant to lull you into a false sense of security. So let me check this real quick. This may be one of the false sense of security rooms. It might be. I suspect it is because it's really early. We're shallow. We're not deep yet. I'm not seeing any pressure plates or wires yet. Okay, this was a fake out room. Okay, this was a fake out room, is what this was. All right, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Don't trust it. Do not trust it. Don't ever trust anything in this dimension. Do not. I cannot stress that enough. Don't. Also, don't break the doors because then you can't go back or forwards. You'll lose where you were. So I'm trying to be careful here. Okay, we're gonna call this. And like I said, no normal enemies can spawn here. At least they're not supposed to. We're going to call this DD1R2. DD1R2. Okay. Deeper we go. I have just stepped on something. Did you hear it click? I have triggered something. Okay. I think I know what this room is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what this room is. As you can see, there are pits that are trying to drop us into lava. Okay. But we can fly up and out of it, and we will. There's also treasure in this room. This is actually a pretty good room. This is a good demonstration of the kind of traps you can run into in dimension doors, because this is pretty avoidable stuff, in my personal opinion. It's also, as I recall, a pretty safe room overall, as long as you don't fall into the holes. There's also several treasure chests in this room. So the best advice I can give for anyone who's concerned about stuff in the dimension doors is always, like, just dig your way out of it. Go up. Like, go up into the ceiling. Like, we're not going to dig too much because I don't want to destroy this door. This is a door that goes deeper, so we're going to dig around this. But I'm going to level a lot of this out because I can. And when I open this room up some, you will see, in fact, I'm going to pull out the hammer in a minute here to make this go faster. You will see how this room is designed to, like, confuse you. But once you get the hang of it, it's not that bad. Let's go ahead and claim some of the treasure. Okay, titanium, book, nether quartz, iron, coal. All right, interesting. Now, I think that's actually valuable because I don't think we have a way to make titanium right now. I think that's nuclear craft stuff, or it's tech reborn. I don't think we have a way to make that on our own right now, so being able to get that is quite nice. I'm going to go ahead and put the EMC table away because I don't want to ditch my glider in case we hit a trap where the floor drops out from underneath me. I want the glider on my hotbar. I don't want to have to panic and fumble for it. Now, I will point out, this dimension is great for one thing, which is vanilla Minecraft redstone stuff. If you ever are in need of pistons, and for whatever reason your pack makes pistons really expensive, or you're just struggling to get redstone components because they're a little spicy for whatever you're doing in your mod pack, this is a great place to get. This is a great place to get redstone. Now that is ancient fabric, and it's not harvestable. That's essentially creative stuff, and I can't break it. But I can totally take all of these pistons. I can just take them. Thanks for the free stuff. I'll take this glowstone too. As you can see, when we get down into the guts of this room, we can fall down in here. This room is an elaborate death trap, right? This is all vanilla redstone stuff. And we could literally spend hours in here just taking everything if we wanted to. And it would break all the contraptions. You can already hear some of it's breaking because I'm breaking the things that are connecting them all onto a single circuit. We are... Yeah, just give me all your ancient things. I will say this. I really hope that this dimension stays as difficult as it is, because it could be a lot worse in more modern screenshots of Minecraft. And I say that for one reason only, which is anyone who's been following more recent updates of Minecraft knows that skulk sensors are a thing now. This dimension is already enough of a death trap nightmare. I cannot imagine how bad it would be using modern vanilla redstone tricks. If skulk sensors were integrated into this, I would never come to this dimension, and I wouldn't go into any pack that made me come to this dimension. That would be a living nightmare. Legitimately. It would be horrifying to have to deal with skulk sensor technology in a place like this. As we can see, most of the stuff has now stopped because I've smashed enough of it that it's not reciprocating anymore, which is great. That's fine. Let's go around and grab all the chests, and then we will pick another door and move on. We have 13 minutes left before we have to leave. All right! Okay, we have 11 stable fabric, a platinum ingot, iron, gold, and coal. Excellent, excellent. This is what we wanted to find, is some dimension fabric. That means even if we have to leave, if we find nothing else, I'm content, because we can now continue on. It is possible to make tools and stuff from this mod that will enable you to do specific things. We can make a dimension sword that can be used to open and shut portals at will. And we can also make dimensional stabilizers that will stabilize broken dimension doors and stop the Endermen from spamming. But all of those cost fabric, and since we need fabric for certain things, I kind of don't want to make more of that than what I absolutely have to. So we'll see what we can get away with, but I kind of don't want to invest in any of that soon. Now, the pack developer, sainagh, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. We do have a way to make dimensional thread later. There is one of his custom multi-blocks will create it, but we're a ways off from that. So for now, to limit the number of trips we have to make here, I'm going to hold off on making all of the tools and toys. But we can indeed make some. There are some toys and tools that can be made. Okay. try not to break the doors. There are ways to fix broken doors, but we currently don't have access to any of those tools. Okay. Nice. Nice. You. Actually, it strikes me. I could be using the scanner to scan for chests. And maybe I should be. That's perhaps not the worst idea in the world. I'm going to put the wand back because we shouldn't be finding any... Yeah, I had it configured to Sheldonite, or configure it to chest, please. There shouldn't be any enemies unless sainagh has dramatically modified this, which I wouldn't put past him. I'm not expecting to see enemies here. Oh, there's another chest right over there. I'm not expecting to see them in this dimension, but they might be in limbo, or whatever that other dimension is called. They might be there, possibly. We will see about that. When we run out of time, I have 10 minutes left on my clock. When we run out of time, I'll try and figure out a way to throw myself into the void. And like I said, we could always stay here and harvest the redstone components. Certain rooms, like this one, this isn't even the best room for it. There are rooms that have literally 3 or 4 stacks of pistons, like pulling the floor out and then pushing it back over and over again in these super elaborate parkour traps, right? And you could spend 40 minutes in there pulling the room apart and getting tons of redstone resources if that was your bag. So let's go ahead. We have 2 doors here that we can pick. So we've got some choices here. Let me go ahead and clean a little bit of this up before we make a marker and move on. Okay. We're going to call this room DD1R3. DD1R3. Okay. And before we move on, let me check this real quick. It is called stable. Huh. What is it called? Why am I not able to look it up? It's stable fabric. Excuse me. Where was it used to craft? So I know we need 2 of them to make the stable fabric from dimension doors, right? We could use it to make the world thread armors, which is a hilarious joke. It's not worth making. It's way too rare of a resource to be worth making that. It's used to make the Ender Book, but we can find those in loot. I'm not making one. That's a waste. It's used to make the Dislocator from Draconic Evolution. To bind your current coordinates, it lets us teleport between dimensions. That might be worth making, but I don't know. We need 2 of them to make the Deep Dark Portal, which is what we're going to do when we get home. We can make Fabric of Reality with Arcane Ashes, Stone, and Stable Fabric. You normally can't make Fabric of Reality in Dimension Doors. You notice this is a Craft Rico recipe. And then it's used to make a Charged Porter from RF Tools, which I believe we need for other things. We're going to need Stable Fabric to make Eldritch Will Crystals. Okay. We're going to need, for an interdimensional energy orb, which I don't know what that's even used for. We need 4 of it, plus some things that we actually kind of have access to right now, to make a matter transmitter from RF Tools, which is the teleporter. Teleport sends to a location. And then this is the receiver that receives. Okay. And then we can make stable fabric using the dimensional stabilizer. We can make it using life essence. Right, which is a potentially worthwhile investment. And to do this, we need 17 fabric of reality and 6 red altered fabric. I'm not sure how to make red altered fabric. Is it just red dyed? Yeah, it is. It's just red dyed fabric. Okay, so we need more fabric of reality before we leave, before we dip. If we can get like a full stack of it, I would be appreciative of it. We can easily steal some from here. Also, as you may have noticed earlier, Fabric of Reality is kind of like a scaffold block in a way. Like if I place something in it, it'll assume its place just like that. So if you're ever in a pack that doesn't have Wayla, which is what that thing is up at the top, what am I looking at? Wayla, Fabric of Reality, currently harvestable dimension doors. If you're in a more vanilla Minecraft experience where you don't have that, you may not be certain if you're looking at like if you're looking at Fabric or if you're looking at the Void, right? If you're ever in this sort of situation in a different pack than something that doesn't have Wayla, you can always place a block, right? And that'll let you know immediately if you're looking at Fabric or if you're looking at the Void. Okay, so just hot tips, pro tips. I've had to do this in some packs before. It gets a little spooky. Okay, we have over a stack. We're good. We're good. We can stop. All right, we've already made that marker. Let's go through this door. I choose this door. And we'll see what we can get. We got 5 minutes left. Okay. I didn't step on a pressure plate. That's good news. There's no red dots on the map, so we don't have any watchers to deal with. That's good news. What is this? Ooh. That's a fall. That's a drop straight into the void. Okay. Okay. Very cute. Very cute. We're going to go ahead and fix that. See, this is what I mean by sometimes it's hard to tell what's a wall. Like, that's a wall. This is empty space. Like, this dimension exists to get you killed. Don't trust it. Okay, so we're going to call this DD1R4. DD1R4. Okay. We're going to go deeper. See how many thread we can get. Okay, good news. We're not standing on a pressure plate. That's always good news. We still don't trust it, though. We're not trustworthy people. We're not trusting. We've been burned way too many times in our lives to trust. So we're going to go ahead and go up. In my experience, usually going up can never, I won't say it'll never screw you, but it's usually a good idea. If you're cautious, like just trust your cat instincts, right? Cat feel uncomfortable, cat climb high, right? Monkey no like jungle floor spooky, monkey go up, right? Trust your monkey / cat instincts. If it feels untrustworthy, don't trust it. Is there anything hidden here? Let me scan for a chest. Is there anything here? I don't think so. This is just a junction room. Okay. We've got one way back, 3 ways forward. So we're going to go ahead and call this DD1R5. DD1R5 junction. Okay. We're going to go this direction first. And I'm going to mark this as the direction we went by doing that. Aha! This is a dead-end treasure room that is trapped. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Now, we are looking, if I recall correctly, there's a variation of this room that'll blow up the door, which is one of the reasons why we make those teleportation things back in case the door gets blown up. So, you'll notice I can't fly over this. They really don't want me to. This is where the trap is going to be. One of these has a tripwire on it, and I believe it's the last one. In fact, I think we can even see it kind of from here. But if we were to, I don't know, break through some of this, I think we can kind of see the trick before it gets tricked. Can we? Maybe? Or this may be one of the ones where it's all down below. I'm not sure. I'll show you, though. Yep, it's this one. Indiana Jones stuff, help. I'm fine. This is relatively tame as far as traps are concerned. This is not that big of a deal. The whole room could potentially be rigged to explode. That's not unheard of for the whole room to go up. And in fact, I think it actually, did it just raise the wall to block me in? Yeah, it sure did. Very cute. Ouch. Ouch. I'm going to get some of my chicken real quick and eat that. Yeah. And it's run out of ammunition. Thanks for the free arrows, I guess. And you can hear the redstone clock going. There is a redstone clock down here, I think, that is ticking. Yep, there it is. We can drop down into the guts of this and see how this trap worked. It pushed the thing up. This was the trick wall that blocked the escape. This is the two ends of the tripwire right here. We got 40 seconds until until my timer is going to go off, and then there's all of this back here that opened up that wall and launched all those dispensers at us. I don't think we're going to cut it here. We'll do one more room before I flee. I want to try and get a little bit more dimension fabric than what I have. The 11 is nice. I'd like 20 if possible, but we won't overstay our welcome. I did do the timer for a reason, which was so that time wouldn't get away from me here. You can spend a lot of time in here just looking for stuff, and sometimes it rewards you for your tenacity, and sometimes it doesn't. This place is a living death trap. Yes, thank you. I know. Time is up. We'll do one more room after this, and then we will stop. Now, the door will break, by the way, when we leave. That's how dimension doors work. But one, we can always make the dimension blade or the dimension stabilizer and repair the doors. Two, and this is the really slick trick, because everything in the dimension door's dimension is connected in the same dimension, I can always take a different dimension door and then teleport back to any of these markers that I've made. So I can always come back to this particular branching sequence of rooms, even because of Journey Map. Journey Map makes that possible. So let's go ahead and check. Ooh, these are trap chests. Oh, we've already got all the dimensional fabric I could have ever wanted. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. And these chests would have also tripped this trap if we had somehow made it past the tripwire. These would have also activated it. Okay, we're gonna call this. Oh, my pick broke. That's unfortunate. I guess we'll call it here then, since my pick broke. Now it's probably as good a time as any to leave is what we'll do. Yep, there we go, 29. I will call this. We were on 5. DD1R6 treasure dead end. DD1R6 treasure dead end. Okay. Then I'm going to open this door and go back. We're going to do this, where I'm going to wall that off because we've been there. And then I will modify this one. Junction. And say return. And then I guess what we'll do is we'll die, because there is a thing saying, hey, die while you're in a dimension door's dimension, right? The question is, how do I want to do this? Do I want to jump out into the void? Or do I die? Because I know if you fall into the void in the dimension door's dimension, you end up in super hell, right? You end up in that other place. The quest book doesn't say jump, though. It says die, right? Like, because the last place, the Dark Realm, in the Meatballcraft dimensions, the Abyssal Wasteland, Dreadlands, Omathal, to get to the Dark Realm, you have to jump into the void in Omathal to get to the Dark Realm. This does not say jump into the void in dimension doors. It says die in a dimension door. So should I jump into the void? Because I can easily do it in this other room. Or should I jump into the lava and kill myself? Like, I'm not sure which they want. I don't know what to do here. I'm going to jump into the void, is what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump into the void. We're going to void jump. Ow, 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 ow. The power of the graves prevents you from getting lost outside of the world? Wait, did Coriel Tombstone just save me? I'm sorry, what? Or is this something that he's implemented? I don't have an answer to that question. Tell you what, though, let's go jump in the lava. Let's die then. We'll die, because I can always use the recover inventory to save myself. We have regeneration and saturation for 20 seconds, so that might take a moment. Let me go ahead and put my stuff away. And we'll wait for that to wear off. That's a little strange. I don't know if that feels like something Coriel Tombstone would do. But I don't know if that's Coriel Tombstone or not. I'm guessing it is. But it shouldn't do it a second time if I die. That's kind of stuff usually has a cooldown. So we will jump into the lava and die. And let me take the bauble off, the lava charm, so this way. And in fact, I'll take the heart containers off too, because this will, yep, boink, that'll hurt. That'll make me burn faster. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Ah! Oh, really? I trusted you to burn me to death, and then you do this thing to me where... Come on. I don't want to fall out of the void. I want to die, please. Ouch, 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 ouch. The one time I want to burn to death in lava, it's taking forever. There we go. Ooh, something interesting seems to be happening. I think we were indeed intended to die. Uh-oh. Meatballcraft is hanging. There's a Meatballcraft not responding. Are we going someplace special? Are we going someplace special? Please don't crash, Meatballcraft. Hang in there. Hang in there, Meatballcraft. Quest completed. Dimension doors. Oh. Oh, yeah, these are what the Watchers look like, by the way. The giant eyes. This is what they look like. Ouch, ouch, ouch. This is what they look like. Ouch. So every time they look at me, they teleport me back to the start. So this essentially becomes a... So you also can't take fall damage in this dimension, by the way. This is what I was referring to as quote-unquote super hell. You see how those eyes are opening? That's because they can see me. I don't want to be seen by them. Okay? Welcome to Jurassic Park, I guess. This isn't Jurassic Park. This is a terrible place to be. So this is what I was talking about. This is Limbo. Yup, it is in fact called Limbo. I remembered that correctly. So we want to go down to get out of here. Oh man, that music is so creepy. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do this correctly. TB restore inventory. Thank you. Give me my stuff back. Secondly, I have another question. Since these guys are basically traps, they're not really creatures per se. I'm going to assume I know the answer to this question, but I'm guessing the invisibility cloak from What's It doesn't work on them. Because I know it doesn't work on demons. I haven't really had a chance to show this in the on stream, but demons like the Baphomet oh no, they're opening. They see me. The cloak does not save you from that. Okay, good to know. Now we needed unraveled fabric for something, didn't we? Unraveled? Yeah, we did. Mined with silk touch. We need... Oh man, I literally just broke my pick. I can't mine it because we ran out of it. I'm going to have to come back here, probably off stream, to get it. But we need the Vengeful Key. And the Call to Limbo is made from unstable fabric, crafted with a Rift Blade, which is made by crafting all of that, which is made from Bloodmaster blocks, which is made from Bloodmaster ingots. Oh wait, even though this is broken, I can still mine it? Fascinating. Okay, let me get a full stack of this before we go anywhere. I'm sorry, I don't want to pass up this chance. Now, it implied that there's, like, structures here, that there's fortresses of blood magic in this dimension, which is interesting if true. We will explore a little bit, but I don't want to spend too much time here because we have unlocked the ability now to go to the Deep Dark. 53, 54, 55, 56, 7, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. Okay. Let's call this Limbo Spawn Safe, because we're out of line of sight of all the things right now. So, let me put my necklace back on. Okay. I'm glad he hasn't put, like, creatures here. That would have been a pain if he had done that. Oh, crap. They can see me from here. I'm too close. Now, like I think I mentioned before in a previous thing when I was explaining how Limbo works, you want to go down to get out of here because there's a fluid down there at the bottommost like levels of XYZ chords that'll let you. Oh, we are too close to too many eyes. We're not going to escape this, I think. I'm looking because he sort of implied that there's fortresses and strongholds here, but I don't see anything just yet. I'm looking for structures to see if we can see anything. Those like wall master dudes cannot be killed. They're invincible. They're, like I said, they're not a true enemy. They're like a hazard. I think that's what I was starting to say before I interrupted myself. They're not an enemy you can fight. Which I suppose means they're not like wall masters, because you can kill wall masters in Legend of Zelda. You can't kill these things though. They're more of a trap. The eye slowly opens when you're looking at them, or when they can see you, the eye starts to open. And if you let it open all the way, then you get teleported. These guys do exist in the Dimension Doors dimension proper, and if they spot you there, they teleport you here. I don't really see any structures, though. That doesn't mean anything, though. They could be rare. I'm not sure. It's also possible that what he was referring to was the fabric itself. And that's what we need to take from here, because I'm not really seeing. Oh, that is so creepy that the sky is just a giant red eye. We did complete that mission though. I saw it auto completes. Yeah, I think we can leave now. I don't see any structures at all, and I imagine if he put structures here that we had to visit, they wouldn't be this rare. We would see some stuff by now, probably. So I'm just going to go down. We're going to go down. We got to go to lower levels to try and find that fluid. There it is. That's what we're looking for. I hope that eye behind me doesn't open and teleport me. This is what you're looking for if you're trying to escape. Oh, that one's going to see me, though. Yep. Okay. This is it. This is what you're looking for. Jump into this, and it'll teleport you back to world spawn. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and mark this, too, in case I ever end up back here. Limbo fluid pool. There we go. So I can teleport back here if I ever end up in this dimension again. I can just come back here and leave. Yep. And there we go. I should fall out of the sky over spawn. That's what's supposed to happen anyway. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. That was stressful. Ow! Oh, interesting. I get spit out in the nether. That's curious. I'm not sure why that happened, but I won't question it. Let's just go home. Let's just / home. Okay. We've got a bit of time. I've got 20 to 30 minutes before I'm going to have to cut the stream. We can do a couple of things here. And I think we're not going to be able to do all of it, but here's what we're going to do, okay? I do have other mob shards I made. I made a blaze and wither skeleton mob shards as well in case I needed those. Blazes for blaze powder and blaze rods, and wither skeletons for wither skulls. Technically, I can make most of the blaze drops with the table, but it might be useful to have Woot just making them automatically for free without costing me EMC. There is something in his quest book that I don't understand, by the way, to that effect, which is why I took it. It's right here, Fire Dragon Heart. Just in case you haven't noticed, this has a special use with Blaze, which, if you check it, this is a craft tweaker recipe he's made, where dragon hearts are reusable. And if you surround this dragon heart with 4 blaze rods, it turns it into a diamond. I'm not quite sure why he would do this. The only thing I can think of is that perhaps it's a way to multiply your EMC. is you could have an EMC, a power flower generating blaze rods, and then having them auto-craft with a dragon heart to turn them into diamonds. The problem is the blaze rods, 4 blaze rods aren't that much less expensive than a diamond. It's like 1.5 EMC per blaze rod. So, like, and the diamond is 8, right? So 1.5, 2, 3, and then 6. Let's round this and say it's 6,000. It lets you turn 6,000 EMC into 8,000. That isn't a huge bump. Like, that's not really that useful. So I'm not quite sure what he's implying here. Why this is why he went to the trouble of making this a craft tweaker thing. Maybe I'm missing something that can be used, or maybe it's better than I think, and I'm just the dumbest person in the universe. But I don't quite understand why that's a thing. But I do have a blaze thing in case I need one. So I think what we're going to do real quick is we now have the thread to make the unraveled fabric. There you are. To make the deep dark portal. 1, 2. Go ahead and put the unraveled fabric there as well. Boop, boop. Deep dark portal. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put that down next to my thing. What we're going to do, I think, is we are going to summon these new bosses that I've made with the boss lures that we now have available. And then we're going to go to the deep dark, I think, with the time we have left. And I'll show you. Also, just to show you what I've been working on, Portal to the Void. This is a little different, as you can see from the journey map radar. Some interesting things have been taking place out here. I am in the process of... I gotta refresh that. Of building a platform that I'm going to have as part of the base. I have a large layer down there that is basically to catch me and any materials if they fall. But this is what I'm working on so far. I was originally going to make one giant island to have everything on. And I'm using the building tools to make this. I've got a building blueprint up here that is essentially... Where are you? 5x5 dirt platform, 11x11 dirt cobble, 7x7 dirt cube frame is the thing. I also have a 7x7 dirt cube that is solid, but I'm using the dirt frames to build with because they're hollow, which makes them cheaper to mass prefab. I'm building the platform with this. I was originally going to make it one giant platform to have everything on, but I thought to myself, he went to the trouble of giving us the Garden of Glass skybox with the giant, like, rainbow Saturn ring around the sky and all the different planets and stars and stuff. So it would be kind of nice if I built the base to sort of reflect that. So I think instead of making everything on one giant island, I'm going to make a central island that has the Hobbit Hole on it. That's the part of the hill. The one thing that can't be changed, by the way, is this specific portal to the void cannot be mined up. So if I want this to be on the top of the Hobbit Hill, which it is, I have to drop this down a level. I realized that a little too late, so I'm going to have to shave it down to here and flatten it to this level instead. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a central area here. You'll spawn here on top of my Hobbit Hole house. And then I will have different islands in different directions that have different things. And that way it's more of a floating series of sky islands that can sort of play into the skybox a bit and make it look really pretty. But I just wanted to show this off in its construction state so you can see what's happening here. So let's go ahead and summon those other bosses and throw hands with them and see if we can get some programmed woot shards out of it too. Let me go ahead and take them. So we're going to take all these. Thank you. I can't make this one yet because we have to kill one of the current bosses with this. But we're going to take one of those, take one of those, take one of those, and take... We'll save the Nethogenic Wither for last, because I don't know how hard he's going to be to kill, but he might be a little bit rough. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all that away. We're going to have one of these in our hands. Let me go ahead and repair my pick real fast. Like I said, we are currently in a position. I don't know. I might have to do the obtaining the sponge off screen. It's a vanilla, like, ocean monument. You probably don't want to see it. It's kind of boring, especially since I have... So one of the things that Reliquary adds are these charms as well as a charm belt that can hold all of the different charms if you want to have multiple ones. What it does is when you have a charm of a certain creature, that creature can't see you when you're wearing this. Even if you attack them, they won't attack you back. But every time a creature would see you, it takes durability damage. So what I was intending to do is just put on the Guardian Charm, go through the Ocean Temple while wearing this armor set, which gives you the biogenic chestplate. Guardians drop this. I found a place where Guardians spawn, and they drop this as part of their thing. Wearing the full set lets you see underwater and breathe underwater. So between the Guardian Charm and this armor set, going through an Ocean Temple would be absolutely no problem. I might do that off screen and get the sponge, just because we are kind of running out of time. But let's go ahead and start. We'll start with King Bam Bam Bam. I know he's an oldie. We have killed him already, but I'm gonna kill him and take his shard this time because I wanna be able to farm him if I need to. And we will also, so we're going back to the Nether, but I will also check on our mob farm and see how we're doing. We may turn this off because I am pretty sure this is now draining all of our energy. Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, we're gonna turn the mob farm off. Oh, good lord. Okay, we definitely are going to need a system to dispose of that. There we go. It's off. We're definitely going to need a system to dispose of all these sand slashes and just get rid of them because that's a little silly. We do have plenty of this, though. We have tons of EMC now in the form of these ancient remnants. We have multiple stacks of the divine shards, so we can absolutely make the divine pickaxe if we want to. That's great. That's all I wanted. We'll probably take his thing off. That is definitely a thing I'm going to have to set up at some point. Is we're going to have to set up an item disposal system that can work automatically without me having to manually sort stuff. Because that's just silly. Okay. Oh, and while we're here, I'll show you the Nethogenic Beast thing. It's just like a 30-second detour. It's no big deal. Ooh, are you one of the thermal expansion ones? No, you're just a lightning wraith. You're not one of the thermal expansion ones. So I've noticed the invisibility cloak from the Aether works on blazes until you attack one. Then they all see you. The same is true for zombies. So I think blazes and zombies might share similar like AI. Skeletons, zombies, and blazes don't see you until they do, and then your cover's blown. Demons like the Baphomator, their AI can see you no matter what. They just know where you are. The same is true of ghasts. They always know where you are. You can't hide from them. Anyway, this is the Nethogenic Beast structure, and you can tell it's this because it has these fire lamps on the side from Advent of Ascension. If we go down inside of it, we can see there is a spawner here for Nethogenic Beasts, and these dudes will spawn. Okay, they have such and such amount of health. They're just like a deer, essentially. And when it says use a fiery dust on them, there is, and I have a suggestion for sainagh for this. Where is it? Which is, that was not capitalized, so I kind of a flammable dust. It says right-click a flammable dust onto the beast. Okay, please capitalize that because I stood here clicking on it with gunpowder and blaze powder and sulfur trying to figure out what flammable dust it wanted. There's literally a thing added by Advent of Ascension called flammable dust. And it drops from all nether mobs. But by not capitalizing it, it kind of lends us to the assumption that it's a non-specific thing. You don't have to take my advice on this. Just, I would recommend, politely, that under this, that the F and the D in flammable dust be capitalized, because I wasted quite a bit of time trying to get Nethogenic Coalstones out of these guys. What you do is you right-click the literal flammable dust on Nethogenic Beasts, and that's how you get the Nethogenic Wither Coalstones. Just as a public service announcement, maybe consider capitalizing those, or don't. I don't know. I'm not your dad. Let's go fight King Bam 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 real quick. We are running out of time. I'm trying to be cognizant of time here. Ouch. Ouch. Kind of looking also into what we're going to need to do to go to Erebus. We also need to get into Abyssialcraft because we are at a point where we could go to the Abyssial Wastelands. I can't believe I just teleported back home when that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go up to the roof of the Nether. Please, please save me from my own stupidity. Thank you. Oh, it's not going to do it because there's a portal cooldown. I got to step fully away from it and wait a second. There we go. That'll take me back. I was kind of hoping we'd be able to get into a bit of Abyssialcraft this episode, but I don't think we're going to have time. We may have to delay that until next time. The general, like, 5-second elevator pitch for getting started in Abyssialcraft is you need those statues that we found, and it's very, very generous of sainagh to make it so those statues are findable. You also need monolith stone, which is, again, he's been very generous about that. Not only are some of his custom structures in the Darklands biomes made of it, literally, but it also has an EMC value. So you can, if you get one, you're gold. Oh, I need to take my magnetization ring off, or else I'm just going to suck it up. We'll stick to Ice Shard, I think, just because it's spammable and I can hit it while on the move. There he is, Baron of Explosives. Greetings, my guy. There we go. You notice how it said capture mob? There we go. And now it's glowing. King Bam Bam Bam, fully programmed. So we caught him. We got his soul. Nice. Now I can make another controller with him on it, and we could farm him if we wanted to. We probably don't want to, but we could. Now, if I remember correctly, the Infernal Flame has to be used here as well. This wasn't a complete gimme. We did come here for a reason. Let me double check that. Using the Nether. Yes, it does indeed need to be used here. This should summon the King Scorcher. Give me another Ender Shard, please. Thank you. Do I click this or do I throw it on the ground? Ah, I click it onto a block. Gotcha. Capture mob. What's up, nerd? Get bullied. Out here, we represent Icicle Gang. I'm sorry, is that a giant skeleton floating in the sky? That looks like a giant skeleton floating in the sky. Ouch. 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 That sure does look like a giant skeleton floating in the sky. Is that a freaking velociraptor standing on it? I'm sorry. I know I'm trying not to get distracted much anymore. I know I get distracted and I'm a little spastic about some things. What on earth is that sitting on top of that? Is that a Hydra? Oh, that is a Hydra. That's the Nether Hydra, isn't it? Because there is one. I forget about that. A bunch of Baphometers throwing hands with something. That is, I think that's the structure that we need the key to get into. The key that's used from made from the destabilized fabric. I believe that is what we need to get into that with. Spooky. Hello, friend Hydra. It's not your friend. Don't believe that for a second. This thing would kill me if I didn't have the invisible cloak on, or it would try. Anyway, moving on. We have a few more lures to use: the Amphibiite Lung and the Horde Horn, which has to be used in the end. So let's go ahead and do that right now. If we go /home. So, another suggestion to Sagna, assuming because I do need to update this pack. And by the way, if someone has any advice on how to do that, I'm all ears because I'm a little afraid to do it because it's a bit of a pain. I can back up the whole thing on an external hard drive. I have quite a nice external hard drive. I recently bought a 5 terabyte external, but I'm a little bit hesitant to update this specific one. Just because, I mean, this pack is crazy, right? I don't know what files I should keep and what files should be replaced, and I'm a little bit afraid to experiment with it, or else I'll lose all of this, and that would be a huge pain to have to start over, right? Thank you, Alarm, for letting me know. Don't worry about it. That's an alarm for me to let me know something. It's not an alarm to do anything with this stream. If anyone has any advice on how to update this pack, I'm all ears. But assuming it's not already been changed, I strongly suggest some clarity perhaps on some of the boss lures because it's not necessarily clear how to use certain ones. It's a bit unclear. My hair got stuck in a ceiling fan. Please help. Instructions unclear. That's not how that goes, but we're not going to use the correct one because this is a Christian Minecraft server. One of them is the amphibiite lung, like this. So if we go here and look in the book, he controls the seas. It belongs in the ocean. The seas on Terra are dangerous, blah, 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 right? And then over here, he controlled the seas, and it sort of shows you Corrales, which one could assume can be summoned, right? He's a boss. And he drops different things, including some kind of magic weapon staff we can use, fish, an Oceanus diving helmet, which grants the ability to breathe underwater and stacks with any other Advent of Ascension armor set. The same is true with the Arkelos diving helmet, gives night vision underwater, stacks with any set. Kind of wish these could be combined into the same helmet, so you get something that does both, but what do I know? However, this doesn't really tell you how to summon him. There's a vague hint, belongs in the ocean, but it's not, it doesn't really tell you what you need to do. I'll tell you what you need to do. We have to throw the amphibiite lung into the water, okay? And that is how you summon him. I had to look it up. Okay, I haven't summoned him yet. I waited until we were recording to summon him, but I had to look up how to use these things because instructions not clear, right? A bit more clarity on the boss lures might be appreciated. Just a suggestion. Let's sleep and make it day, and then we will summon this guy and kill him. I think we could actually make this guy's super enchanted version of the sword he drops. He drops a sword that can be super enchanted. We can definitely make the Divine Shikaxe now, and we might before we sign off. That might be the last thing we do. Again, I can't recommend enough Thalmic additions. The seeds that you can make let you grow those pods. I think I've mentioned it before. You can grow the different pods, and they give you the different elements that do different things. It's very, 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 very useful. I've been using it to grow Vitium seeds because it's the best way to get, that's like the corruption. That's the evil stuff. It's the best way to get it without doing risky stuff. It's just free. This is a fishing setup that I had set up where I'm using the fishing baskets down here. Automatic fishing nets from Cyclic. This is also a good example of how you can have both Ender IO energy conduits and item conduits on the same block. You can have them on the same line. It's feeding energy into these nets because they need energy to function, and then it's sucking items out, which is quite handy. One of the skills that can be leveled is fishing. It is a skill in Advent of Ascension. However, I'm not entirely sure how to go about it efficiently. The more recent documentation suggests there's like a kind of fishing pot from Advent of Ascension that can be used to that end. But it doesn't appear to be in this version of Advent of Ascension, so I'm not sure. You better not. There he is. There we go, captured mob. Oh, that's actually a pretty cool sounding music. Get nuked, my guy. Whoa! Whoa! Buddy. I kind of feel like the icicle did way more damage, personally. does. It's doing 60 to him. There, put that on so we can just vacuum up his stuff. Basically, I don't know of an efficient way to level fishing. I don't know if there is one in this version of Advent of Ascension. Okay, and he dropped some nice stuff. We got a raw sapphire strider, coral staff, we got a coralis polyp, coralis statue, and some other things. Okay, excellent, good to know. So, horde horn. This thing has to be used in the end. So, let's go ahead and go to the end. And I think, hang on, I think the other one also has to be used in the end, so I'm going to go ahead and take the materials used to make it, and we'll take it with us so we can make it. We need this other guy's drop, I believe, to make the next lure that I tried to make but couldn't. It's going to summon like an end-themed beholder from D&D that we have to kill, and his eye is used to craft the next boss lure. So go ahead and put that shard away. We'll take these shards out and get ready to use them. Okay, and then we'll take one Nethogenic Wither Callstone as well to use in the end. We'll do that last, I think. And then I guess we'll make the Shikaxe and stop. I feel like that's probably a good expenditure of our time. We'll make the Shikaxe after we summon all these bosses. I don't know if we have all the coins necessary to craft the dire pick. Shoutouts to Direwolf, but we might have enough to do it now. We'll see. Where are you? I definitely need to go through and clean up all these tags as well. I'm going to probably do that off screen. I will Stronghold. There we go. Enter portal. I'll go through and recheck all of these things to see what is and is not something I'm using. So I haven't done it yet, but I did prepare this area. Ouch. I think I need to wait a second because it kind of thinks I'm suffocating in bedrock and the stone. Give it a second so it remembers where I am. Okay, there we go. I have prepared this area to be used as a fighting arena because I want to spawn all of the teleportation crystal structures, which I think means you have to fight the Ender Dragon 16 times. Obviously, we can get a Woot shard of him and farm him that way. We can get Woots to kill him using the tier 4. But in preparation of having to actually physically fight the Ender Dragon here several times, I went and used Mega Torches and put them all over the place so mobs won't spawn on here anymore. And I want to draw your attention to the fact that, like many of the most useful things in this pack, sainagh has chosen to give this an EMC value. Thank you very much, sainagh. I don't know why Endermen are spawning over there. I guess that's far enough away away from one of the things that they can't reach it. Anyway, let's go ahead and I think we'll summon it here. I don't see a reason not to. Yeah, we'll call it here. The green Ayarako has been called. The blue oh wait a minute. Oh wait a minute. It's summoning all of them? I thought this would be one guy. Oh no. Oh, this just got real Terraria. I did not know this was going to be a thing. I thought we were going to be fighting these things one at a time. You're stuck. Do they not know I'm here because I'm invisible? If so, very funny. We'll go ahead and... Who has the best loot? I mean, while they're just waiting. So they all drop the Divine set. And they appear to each drop an ender sword. Wait a minute. According to this, only the green and the blue drop the Ayuraka scale. So I guess I need to take either green or blue. Either green or blue needs to be tagged. Okay. That makes it simple. I'll go ahead and... I think this is blue. Yeah, he is. There we go. What's up, my guy? Alright. Oh, that's not good at all. He's going to bully me right off the edge. Are they immune to magic? If so, I might be in trouble. I think they're immune to magic. If so, we might be in a bit of a pickle. We might be in some trouble. Uh-oh. He's spazzing out. Let me go ahead and reset this and program it on the green instead, because that might be the smarter play. Yeah, this may not have gone according to plan for any of us, actually. I think the reason they're derping out is because I'm invisible. There we go. Okay, the nature's thing seems to hurt him, I think. Oh, this is interesting. Never mind then. I'm just going to sip my drink. We're going to get an Ayurako green out of this, but I don't know about beating the others, especially not in the next 10 minutes. They appear to be immune to magic, so I'm not entirely certain how you're supposed to fight these guys. Ouch. 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 Okay. Yellow is about to suffocate. He's going to suffocate because he spawned inside the pillar. You? You good, buddy? Oh, he's spazzing out just like the other one. Hmm. trying to brace myself because they push me around when they take swings at me. Ah, son of a... You are obnoxious is what you are. I do not like this boss fight. This would be even worse if they could see me. If all of them were doing this at once, I would be screaming right now. You know what? Fine. I'm gonna fly around in a great big circle, and you can chase me if you want. Ayuraka yellow is going to suffocate. I mean, that's fine by me, I guess. I apologize. I would not have summoned them like this. We would have gone straight for the Nethogenic Wither if I'd realized that this was going to take this long. I didn't realize it was going to summon all of them at once. This is a huge mistake. I'm probably going to kill green and then take the L and TP home. I think that's what we'll do. Just so I can have one programmed. Yeah, we're going to kill green and then leave, I think. Why are they doing this? Why do they... Oh, that does a lot of damage, though. The lightning disc, if I can hit them with it. Well, we got one, and I programmed an Ayuraka green, which is probably all I really need here. We have a statue, we have a scale. I don't know what we'll do. We might just dip. So wait a minute. What do I need to do to get the Watcher Eye? This thing. This is dropped from an Ender Watcher. Wait a minute. Is that... Hold on. Is that one of the normal enemies that spawns here? Hold on. We may be able to get this yet. I thought we had to fight the Ayurako army to get this done, but we may not have to. Let me kill... No, I'm not going to bother killing yellow. These guys can bite me. This was a bad idea. We'll go to the Ender Mine real fast, and we'll see if we can find... Because I thought it was bigger because of the way it looks in the thing. I thought that was a boss, but it's not, is it? It's one of the tiny little dudes. Yeah, it's one of these guys. These dudes are the things that drop that eye. Okay, hang on. We can get this now. Come on. Really? You're just going to do this to me? Come on. Ah, there we go. Watching eye. We just got it. Okay. Let's go ahead and make this boss lure. Because I'm pretty sure this summons... I think I know what this summons. There we go. Call of the Watcher. There is a big boy beholder that this summons, I'm pretty sure. Put that away. Put that ender shard away. Put this down. Take this. The Watcher can only be spawned in the Nether. Okay, well, that makes perfect sense to me. We'll go to the Nether then real quick and do this. And we can summon the Nethogenic Wither while we're there. Okay, because we have 200 shards left. Let's do that. Let's do that, and then we'll make the Shikaxe, and then we'll stop for the day, I think. That's what we'll do. That is exactly what we'll do. We'll summon these 2 creatures. We'll attempt to kill them. Let me recharge my wand. I have no idea how strong these guys are going to be. My fire wand is ready to be upgraded to master. I might upgrade it to master. I don't know. I suspect the Nethogenic Wither is probably immune to fire damage. I would certainly make him immune to fire damage if I was programming him. So I don't think upgrading this to master will help. But, you know... Nah, I'm going to take the Master Earth Mage, because the Solar Beam still does a tremendous amount of damage. A truly outrageous amount of damage from the Solar Beam. We'll take this, is what we'll do. Okay, so we have the Nethogenic, Unstable of Throne, we have the Call of the Watcher. We'll use these on the Nether roof, and we'll see what we'll shake them and see what falls out, and then we will make the Shikaxe, and we will stop. Okay, and oh wait, no, we'll make the Shikaxe, and I will progress the main quest, because I literally built everything to make sure we could do that. I will do those 2 things. I know this is pre-recorded, and you can't actually communicate with me at all, but please don't let me forget that. It's a shame he ended up having to disable the crows, because they're what's causing all the lag, because I think the way they perch on the scarecrows is pretty cool. But the crows don't exist in future updates of this pack, because they cause so much lag. He has disabled them. By the way, Sainagh, please let me know. I have a tamed emperor. I have 2 tamed emperor crows, which are the ones that have the white plumage. I have 2 tamed emperor crows in storage in mob capture devices. Please let me know if it's okay for me to keep those or if I have to destroy them, because I don't know if I update to the one where crows, like, have you completely removed them or have you simply disabled their ability to spawn? Because if you've disabled their ability to spawn, I should be able to keep the 2 crows around, and they'll be the last 2 of their kind. However, if you know, if they've been disabled completely, I may have to get rid of them before I do the update. So please let me know what you did to stop the crows from being a thing. I would appreciate it. Oh, buddy, you're just confused and sad. What? Oh, you hate Solar Beam. Solar Beam does a tremendous amount of damage to you, doesn't it? Can he even see me, or is my invisibility just trolling him? What happens if I summon a zombie? Can you see that? Well, I say he's confused, but I'm missing every shot like a dingus. I look like a fool. Never mind. Icicle Gang rules. He is just confused. Buddy. He's just doing donuts in the sky. A wizard and a demon attempts to fight, but it's just a Monty Python skit where they both miss at every shot. The demon is a senile geriatric. The wizard is an incompetent. Cue audience applause track. Wow, he dropped a ton of stuff. Holy cow. Look at all the netherite ore he dropped. Jeez. This is definitely the dude you want to fight if you want netherite. Good lord. Okay. Cute. Oh, and he dropped demon hearts. We need these for bewitchment stuff. Those are important. And he dropped the Watcher statue. Okay, and a blue fire stone. And we have an ender shard programmed for him. I might make a thing for him just to get some more netherite, because that's kind of hard to get large amounts of, honestly. Okay. Last pick is the Nethogenic Wither. This is, I think, going to be the big boy. If anything kills me, it's going to be this one, I think. But we'll see. We will see. Yep. we've ticked everything off. Still haven't gone to a multiple of 10,000 yet in the Nether, in the end. I think this is Draconic Evolution stuff, Chaos Guardians. I still haven't gone there yet. I might have one of those set up for next time, but we need a black ender sword. The black one can be super enchanted, right? Okay. I need to actually finish that fight, but I don't know. That's an endurance match. That's a slugfest. That's what that is. Let's summon the Nethogenic Wither. Oh, let me get rid of my ring of magnetization that's stopping that from being a thing. And then we'll make the basic nuclear reactor. I get the feeling this is going to be a big explosion. The other Wither explodes, so I assume this one will as well. Oh, jeez. Hello? Oh, that's fun. Interesting. He doesn't want to... Well, if he works anything like the old Wither, he'll eventually start chasing me much closer if I let him. How much damage is that doing? That's not doing anything to him. I think he's immune to magic. Blocking does more damage. That's okay, I'll block. This music is bopping, though. Believe me, I will cheese you. I'll cheese you all day. I'll have cheese and fries right on top of your corpse. I do not care, Nethogenic Wither. Apparently, in more recent updates of Advent of Ascension, the Nethogenic Wither has gotten a significant overhaul, and he's even bigger and more complex. Like, he's sort of just an upgraded Wither right now, but like in future updates, he gets even crazier. I would like to eat my chicken, but I can't, because if I try and consume the chicken, I'm going to get slapped. You will break before my shield does. I give you fair warning, Nethogenic Wither. This isn't going to go the way you think it will. I see your passive regeneration. It's very sweet, but you might want to change up your strategy, bud. This isn't the 1000 IQ play you think it is. By the way, shout out to our sponsor for today, Battle Signs from Tinker's Construct. Just battle signs. If you don't have one, make one. If you haven't made one, why? Make a battle sign today. Better than every shield. Better than every sword. Better than a magic wand. Better than my soul energy lightsaber. It's just the best weapon. Okay. I have defeated the Nethogenic Wither. I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to get a Woot shard of him, because he stayed out of reach the whole fight. But I guess you could call that somebody else's problem, right? I don't know if I really need to get a shard of him quite so badly. We do need their parts, though. The Nethogenic stuff is... All of these boss pieces are needed for something. In fact, let me go ahead and pull that up and show you real quick before we go back. Yeah, there it is. Nethogenic Bone. Black banner, Nethogenic Bone, and a Nethogenic Rune. Texture is messed up, but it was the first I've ever drawn, so I'm okay with it. Used for the Nethogenic banner. It's also used to make the Mirkwood Bow, which is a super enchant of the Seeker Bow. And yeah, we need each of these boss things: Corallus Polyp, Watcher Eye, Nethogenic Bone, Smash Jaw, King Bam 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 Pelvis, Scorcher Flame, Ancient Remnants, etc. Plus a bunch of this stuff to make the Puriflower from Thaumic Editions Reconstructed. What the Puriflower is it's a plant you can plant in a chunk, and it'll slowly drain the flux out of a chunk. That is why that's valuable. That's why it's important. And that's why Sagna's made it so expensive, is because it is a potent tool. There's nothing stopping you from making several of them and then planting them in your Thaumic lab and just having it sink the flux manually. But let's go ahead and make the Shikaxe, and let's go ahead and make the... I went down the wrong flight of stairs. I should have stayed upstairs. Let's make the Shikaxe, and let's make the nuclear reactor controller, and then we will progress that quest and call it here, I think. We've done quite a bit. The Ayurako Horde, I'm going to have to think about that one. The Icicle Shot appear to do nothing to them, but that may be because technically it's coded as a bow and arrow. They may be immune to arrows. The Solar Beam worked on them, and so did the Lightning Disc. The Lightning Disc did 90 damage to them. So I might need to look into them a bit. There's not a lot of documentation for a lot of these mods, actually, unfortunately. I'll have to see what I can come up with as a weapon to fight them, as something I can employ as a tool. We will have to see. I'm just gonna take these. We don't need to do that. And we'll fight them again. I'll deal with them again, and we'll show that in an episode. I will fight them again and win legitimately instead of having to just kill one of them and bail. I did get the Ayurako Green though, so if necessary, I can farm one of them on Woots if we need more of their stuff. Let's go ahead and make the Shikaxe. We might also be able to make the Dire Pick right now. I don't know if we have all of the coins. I think you need a complete set of the coins to make the Dire Pick. Okay, that should be plenty. We shouldn't need more than that, I think. Okay. These don't need to be any special sticks, so we're just going to go ahead and do this. Okay. The pick. Divine Pickaxe. The Divine Axe. And then it's the Divine Shovel, right? Yep, Divine Shovel. Okay, and then we craft these three together to make the Divine Shikaxe. Da 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 da. And how hard does this thing go? It's pretty quick. The efficiency on it's very high. It's not quite nuking things. Man, that is a lot of lag. Holy cow. That's so much lag, guys. Let's go ahead and see if we have what we need to fully... That's going to bother me if I don't fix it. Let's see if we have what we need to fully convert to a Dire Pick, and then we'll stop. Well, no, we have to make the controller. I can't forget that. We're making the controller today. Okay, to make... There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 coin types. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. Who are we missing? We're missing 1. Who are we missing? Okay. Hastir, Elder, Yog-Sothoth, Jahazar, Cthulhu, Nyarthalep, Azathoth. Shub. We're missing Shubby. It's Shub we don't have. Shub Niggeroth. That's an unfortunate pronunciation of that. I don't know if that's correct or not. I apologize. Niggeroth. Wrath. Shub Niggeroth. I'm making it worse. I'm going to stop. It's Lovecraft, guys. Okay, so we're missing this coin. I might have to go searching for one of those. We won't make the Dire Pick today. I will probably make it next time. I'll find a Shubby coin. And the Pyrite Dust can be made just by grinding Pyrite ore. We can do that right now. We can throw that in the bin. 1, 2. Okay. And we'll just dump all this in there real quick so we've got it. And we will put all this stuff in here. What on earth? Why am I carrying spark bombs? Oh, whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and make that controller, and then we'll stop. Just make sure I'm not missing it. Yeah, no, I'm not missing it. It's not there. Okay, we are missing one. Unfortunate. Okay. So, to make the controller, the basic fission, reactor controller legacy, we need 2 yellorium, which we have. I haven't been processing my nuclear materials, but we do have them. I haven't been processing them because they're radioactive, and I don't want them hanging around. That's a little bit dangerous. 1, 2. Let's go ahead and put that in the smeltery. And I guess the last thing we'll do after we make this is we'll stick our heads into the deep dark. We'll poke our heads in and look. I keep misclicking that. I'm so sorry. We can just cook this. We can just smelt it? Really? Okay. I'll just throw them in an oven. That works for me. One, 2. By the way, the radiation shielding clothing is quite expensive to make. That's why I haven't made any of it. It's very difficult to make. We need a comparator, which is... I may have actually made a comparator. Do we have a comparator on the table? We do. Nice. And then we need red there. And then what else did we need? A diamond. By the way, someone mentioned a hot tip to me, and I'm going to share it with you. Let's say I do something like this. Oh no, you can just right-click this to immediately clear it. You can right-click it with your mouse. So that's, if you're needing to look up multiple things, that is a very handy way of doing it. You can just right-click on the EMC table. I did put all 64 of my things somewhere. Was it in this chest? No, it must have been in the other one. It must have been over here. Yeah, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. I made a full stack of the reactor casing. Supposedly, we can convert these reactors. There's an interaction between making steam in Railcraft and using the legacy reactors to make a really, really good energy system. We'll have to see about that. I need to make this quickly because the yellorium ingots are quite radioactive. Okay, diamond in the middle, redstone on the bottom, comparator on the top. Yep, there we go. For making steam, multiple medium reactors are better than large ones. See, he is suggesting, he keeps making these comments suggesting you make it, so I'll take him at his word because he's been right about everything else in his pack. It is his pack after all. Okay, Tier 2 mystical resources. Do this ASAP. I definitely need to start mining mystical resources, but we're going to have to overhaul our energy for that because I can barely run a woot farm. This is not going to cut it. I'll probably experiment a bit with that off stream. I may either see if I can get a Steam setup going, or I might make the resonant upgrades for all of these things and see what kind of power they output. We're starting to rebuild our lost stock. You can see we're slowly building more of it since I flipped that switch and turned it off. We definitely need to be making it more. This battery will also probably will have to get replaced. These are 4 million RF each, but there may be a better battery that we have access to now that I just don't know about. Let's check and see what we have. So do this ASAP. More mythic materials, more Shire matter, blood gems, emberstones, netherites. Less basic fission. Best steam is from dynamos. Using the remnants of yellorite fission, I was able to fabricate casing to effectively compress steam. So turbine controllers, and we get a ludicrite block from extreme reactors. Chickens aren't great, let's fix them. Automate Divine RPG and Advent of Ascension ores, not the only way. The ability of Terra chickens to resonate with various types of matter is quite remarkable, but in terms of uses, it's pretty underwhelming. Thanks to a bit of astral magic, though, I can make my own modified chickens. Was really getting tired of searching for Ascended Sapphire. Okay, and we can starlight infuse shadow bars to make resplendent ingots, and then resplendent ingots can be used to craft a variety of specific eggs, right? We can use them to make different kinds of specific chickens, like glass, limonite, jade, realmite, prismarine, roseite, etc., to spawn those in. Life really finds a way. Nesting pens are cool and all, but they're kind of slow. Erebus materials make for very good lag-friendly chicken coops, and I think this is how we truly automate the chickens. We've got to go to Erebus for this. And then wormhole experiments. Corallus, the ruler of the seas, was also a scientist. It seems like the Shire Empire used him to perfect their wormhole technology. I stopped him just in time. His last experiments appeared to be focused on opening a portal that would allow for their entire military might of the Empire to enter Terra all at once. This type of science is way beyond my understanding yet. I may be able to use its basic applications to open my own wormholes. Task: Wormhole Catalyst. Rewards: 3 Corallus statues. Yeah, I might have to work on this off screen. We need enchanted gravitite. We're going to have to go tear up the aether a bit to get some of these materials. Well, I say that. This isn't that terrible. What are Fluix pearls? Yeah, this is more doable than it looks, but it's still going to be expensive. Okay. Let's go. We're done here, I think, for now. Let's go poke our heads in the deep dark and then stop. I'm curious as to what it looks like. This is essentially a mining dimension. I also imagine that it's very deep and very dark. I believe I've been here once before in... I believe I've been here once before because I think the deep dark was present... Oh, you have to stand on it. It was present in... Oh, what is it called? There's another pack that I think had this in it. So I think I've been here before. It's essentially a nether, but it's all vanilla stone instead of netherrack, right? Yeah, this is definitely what I remember it being. Okay. And it's essentially solid. This place is solid. And if I were to dig out, right, it's just going to be... Yep. This is just a giant place to mine, is what this is. Yep. There's a bit of lag here. This is also a favorite location for cheeky mod pack developers to put the GRU if they are indeed being cheeky about it. Is they would put it here if they're going to put it anywhere in the pack. That GRU is a little bit... It's not the GRU from Advent of Ascension. It's not that dumb one, the derpy looking one. There's a GRU that's dangerous, and sometimes people will put it in this dimension. But I believe I've checked. I don't think it's in this pack, thankfully. I don't like having to deal with that GRU, but this is a fan favorite location to place it. This is essentially just a solid place. I believe we're up high. Yeah, we're at Y178. If we go down, we'll start hitting caves and stuff. But this is essentially just a place to mine. And we do have to go down deep, because going down deep is necessary to find certain structures that are only in this dimension. We need those ingots, those dimensional ingots, and we also need cursed rock. C-U-R-S-E-D. Cursed rocks. No. No. Where are you? Excuse me. Where are you? I just saw them in the thing not that long ago. Is it cursed? Wait, let me try this. Found in the deep. There we go. Cursed rock. Found in the deep dark. Reusable. Right. We got to find one of these. We also need to find dimensional ingots as well, and the demonic mana stone found in the demonic prison in the deep dark. We need each of these. These are important. These are tools that will help us either later or right now, depending upon, you know, what we're trying to do. So I think we're going to go ahead and cut it here. I don't see a reason to linger. I think we can just dip and go back home. I'll explore a bit off camera in the deep dark, and we will open up some holes and portals. We'll go places. We'll see things. Where on earth did you just dump me off in a random location in the overworld? Oh, it dropped me off directly above the portal, but like above ground. For a second, I was like, "Where on earth am I?" I'm home. Is where I'm at. That's kind of cute. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. That's something that happens. That's a thing. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cut it here. I think this is gonna be the end. I'll have to go looking for a Shubby coin to try and get that dire pick. Once we have the dire pick, we're gonna go to the Twilight Forest and we're gonna go into the Minotaur maze, which is oh boy, that's a trip and a half. It's not as dangerous as the Dimension Doors dimension, but it's not a pleasant place. You can get very lost. But I'm curious to see if the dire pick is strong enough to punch through those floors and walls. I think if anything can shoot, because there is a specific pick. I'll show you. I really am quitting, I promise. But there is a specific pick called the Maze Breaker. Yep, there it is. Maze Breaker. Efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3, Fortune 2 that can be found in the Twilight Forest. I believe it is a night metal pick. But it has the special property of being able to break maze stone as though it was normal stone. You can find this in the hidden vault room, which is there. Every maze has a hidden room that you have to break walls to find. I'll show you how to find it when we get there. But the Maze Breaker will let you cheat the mazes once you find them because it'll let you go through. However, I'm wondering if maybe the dire pick will be able, if its efficiency is high enough, that it will be able to serve as a kind of bootleg Maze Breaker. But we'll see. We'll test it out. Anyway, this has been Meatballcraft Dimensional Ascension Level 100 Hunter Edition. If anybody knows a good way to update this pack without causing the entire universe to divide itself by 0 and get a corrupted save file, please let me know. And thanks to sainagh and everyone else who has commented and who has said things. And if you've made it this far, Prof G Monies, why are you still listening to me talk? Get out of here. Good night, dear listeners. Good night.